Fight breakdown. Fight breakdown.
Fight breakdown.
That's my main man right there, Jon Radford, the professor. How you doing, brother?
Chilling, man. Chilling, bro. I can't wait for this one. We got a good one today,
This
bro.
is a good one. And usually, John, what we do is we pick out one fight.
Yes.
You know, we've done Nagano versus Kane.
Ooh, yes, we did.
We've done the last style Bender versus Bobby Knuckles.
Yeah, we did Pettis versus Diaz, didn't we?
Yeah, we did that one. And we also, the last one, a guy, I don't think you, George Masvidal versus Nate Diaz, the greatest fight in the history of the UFC of 2019.
I think we did as well.
Yes,
yes
sir.
We did. And then a long time ago, we did something that we, I guess, put out in there to the world in the future that might happen, and it seems to be coming to fruition January 18th.
A little notorious.
And Cowboy?
Notorious.
Yep.
But usually, so what we're trying to get at, guys, this is Dave and Auken, by the way. Fight Bananas, we're in the house. Fight breakdowns, we usually do one. But things change, we evolve, we grow, we get better, and we just keep on growing.
And I think we just like doing this shit.
So instead of doing one, we talked for guys, at UFC 245, it's December 14th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. And there's not one main event or two main events. There's literally three. All three big titles are on the line. And then we looked at it. Guys, let's talk about the whole main card. We got freaking Urijah Faber on the card. We got our boy Mike Platinum Perry, Jose Aldo. We got Chase Hooper, who's been a Fight Bananas, since day two.
And the Magic Man, Marlon Morales is on the card. This is a great fight card, dude.
It is.
We just looked at the under two because, like you said, the card is so big.
Right.
That it's top heavy. 3 title fights, right? End of the year.
Gosh.
3 title fights, top heavy. And the biggest thing that we looked at was the 2 fights right underneath it are amazing.
It is. And quick question off the top of my head, would you rather have you can pick any fight in the MMA and the UFC right now and have a weaker undercard, a weaker prelims, all that, but you have that one fight. You're like, oh my goodness, John, or DC Stipe, we got the trilogy, you got that, but the rest of the card is weak. Or would you rather have a card like this? When you have Max Holloway, you got Usman, you got Nunes, you got Peter Yan, you got Mike Perry, you got Mike Brown versus Ben Saunders. You just have legends after legends, Hall of Famers. You have 7 fights that you cannot miss.
I agree with you, and I could take it either way. I could take it.
Okay.
Like if you would have stacked if you didn't stack the Jorge Masvidal card versus Nate Diaz with the fights that they had solid there, right? Mm-hmm. If you didn't stack that, then which was a good card all the way through. There was nothing bad about it. You know what I mean? But I could have been good with that. You could have gave me some up and comers on the pay-per-view that I didn't really know about, all because I was just waiting for the main event. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
But
I do.
Other than that,
I do.
I love cards like this. We look forward to the end of the year on purpose. We look forward to seeing the big finale card. You know what I mean? As far as that goes, just like when we look forward, there's 2 big finale cards a year, right? There's
usually
International Fight Week, halfway through the year.
Yep. July 4th weekend, Las Vegas.
And then, we used to get the Super Bowl Sunday card was pretty large.
I know. I remember that.
We
yes.
used to get that.
Yeah.
Because they always wanted to put one on Saturday just to, because it was dead time because everybody was getting ready for the...
It makes sense, actually.
It really does. It's 100%. And you know what would make sense as well? Is putting one on before the WrestleMania.
Oh, my God.
You ever think about that? Getting both crowds at once? You think, could it work?
It could. Because when I disagree with people when they say there's no crossover. There's a ton of crossover. Male 18 to 34 is like the demo. There's
us, you mean? I'm a little older than 34.
Me too. I'm getting up there, bro. We getting up there, man. Come on.
But like us, though, we still crossover with it and watch it and stuff like that. You
Absolutely.
Know what I mean?
You know how we're staying this young? Is that we're taking in Instill Nutrition, John.
It's called that joint jujitsu, bro.
Yeah, man.
Joint jujitsu.
I'm staying that healthy. I just go to InstillNutrition.com. I put in the code, and it's all good, Mm-hmm. Talking about putting the code real quick before we get into it. This is the last plug. Until the next plug.
Until the next one.
Guys, go to manscaped.com. All right.
What's that code again?
Take care of yourself. Take care of your body. The ladies love it. Trust me, I got twins on the way, all right?
Oh.
DVA20. DVA20. You get 20% off everything and free shipping. I don't pay for shipping
free shipping.
Yeah,
I don't care about
worth
what y'all say. You go to a website, you start ordering the product,
Yep.
and you're like, man, it's on sale, it's great. And then all of a sudden it's on sale for $25 off what you're originally going to pay for it. You're like, I'm going to get it. And what's your shipping cost? $18.99.
Yep.
Because of the weight, whatever.
And then you don't go through with it.
I never do.
Right? You never
do. Once it goes right back up to full price, I'm like,
nope, I walk away. It's just like in my teenager days, and a girl gets a little drunk at the bar, you walk away, right? You know what I mean? You can't go through with everything.
But what bar were you at with your teenage days?
Hey, so UFC 245. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, no one was checking IDs back in the 90s.
Yeah.
No one gave a damn.
Daytona Beach in the 2000s.
It was Spring Break City.
The wild west.
Yes, it was.
Let's go.
Yes, it was.
All right, so this is the early prelim main event. This is like the featured bout. Chase Hooper used to be called the Teenage Dream. Now he's just called the Dream. I love it. It's like Dusty Rhodes, the Dream. And they're changing the nickname, going to the UFC. The man is 8-0. 8-0-1, but he's 8-0 undefeated, 21 years old.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's stud. So he's in the early prelims. Been on the show before twice. Big fan. Versus Daniel Timur.
Chase Hooper, you are coming on to one of the biggest cards of the year. Easily the biggest platform you've ever fought on. Against probably the toughest opponent you've ever had. And, brother, from what I watched on the Contender Series, you got a hell of a talent. But can we clean up the striking? I really hope it was cleaned up because your ground game is a masterpiece, right? He's a phenomenal,
great ground game.
Phenomenal on the ground, right? Let's get them hands right. Let's get them feet right. Let's get it all that way. And if he does, that's a problem. 21-year-old problem.
And everyone thought when he fought Luis Gomez at Titan FC 55, he actually went into it, I think, as a little bit of an underdog. Because Luis Gomez is a complete machine. He defeated Sky at Island Fights 54. But like I said, he came into as an underdog. And rear naked choke 2 minutes into the round one. So can't wait. That's the early prelims. Let's get into it, guys. We're rolling. The card is so stacked. We have to keep the train rolling.
I do need to know your pick, though, for the next one.
Chase Hooper. Oh.
No, yeah, I knew you were going with Chase Hooper. I got that. I picked Chase Hooper, too. I think that developmental project actually worked out, and it's going to work out well.
Yeah.
And
he said it was the best thing for him.
I think
and
that's awesome.
About it.
That's awesome.
He
needed
that 18 months
to get it and go into it with the whole heart, like your head in the right manner. Because, anybody else could have said, really? I won my fight. Why didn't I get this? Yeah, but you knew and everybody else knew there were some holes. There were some things you needed to clean up. There was something like that. You weren't just quite ready for that next step. You kind of proved, you know what I mean? Because no offense to either one of those guys, but if they would have fought the other two guys that fought in that weight category that night, it might have been
Sadiq and Michael Beast Boy Davis.
It might have been a different story. You know what I'm saying? If they would have split those two up and gave them each of the other guys, it may not have went down the way it did, right? So now that he cleaned up holes, he had a great attitude towards it. I think he's definitely going to win his debut, and I think it's going to be a great career for him.
Absolutely. The first fight of the prelims, not even the main event of the prelims. That's how this card is so stacked. There's just a fight. We don't have to go total into it. I just want to let the world know. I think we're just kind of passing information around here, John. The immortal Matt Brown.
Dude, I love watching him.
Versus Ben Saunders. Are you kidding? Come on, for one, it's free. Prelims, but this is worth $60. They got my money. You know what I mean?
Dude, okay, let's think. Matt Brown, Robbie Lawler, great fight. Matt Brown, Eric Silva, one of the greatest rounds I've ever seen in MMA as far as just the brutality and what they came back from and everything like that, right?
I'm challenging you right now. You said one. Name me a better. I think
round one?
The best round one
round
ever,
one.
bro.
Did you ever go back and watch the Paul Daly Nick Diaz round one?
Strikeforce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It was bonkers, bro. That's a bonkers round.
It is, but
and the round one with Arlovsky and Travis Brown.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
Those three are bonkers. Those three are bonkers.
Wow. Yeah. It's bananas.
But I still could lean with you that the Matt Brown Eric Silva round was amazing.
How hurt he was. The comeback. It was a Rocky Balboa movie in one round in 5 minutes.
It's not how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get up and keep moving forward.
Can I know us, we're go free loving, good go spirit. We're super kind here on the podcast, right? Like, can I say that we're usually
usually super positive.
The glass is always 3/4
unless we're
full
talking
here.
about Tom Brady or LBJ.
Right.
I mean, well, you're an LBJ fan, but like, unless I'm talking about Tom Brady or LBJ, we're pretty positive.
Can I be real for a second?
Be real.
Is this a loser leaves town match?
100%.
Okay. Am I right on that? Loser leaves town.
Or loser's just not in the UFC ever again.
And that means they leave town.
Well, they leave town, yeah.
They leave the
now,
wild west.
Is it retirement? I think Matt Brown wins and he retires as long as it goes the way he wants it to. It's a great fight. I think he wins and he retires. I think that I
got Ben Saunders winning.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I got Ben.
I understand.
Ben, a longer reach, and somehow this fight kind of gets so like I don't want to say sloppy, transitional, and Ben kind of catches him into something freaky, a triangle choke on the ground.
I understand what you're saying, and Ben definitely won't have the ring rust that
right.
That, you know what I mean? And my biggest thing about that is I don't know that he gives a damn about the ring rust. I think he's coming for a war. Matt Brown has never not came for a war. I think Matt Brown is going to definitely just say, I have some shit left in my tank. I have some stuff down in the basement, kind of like in the movie Balboa. You know what I mean? When he gave that speech to his son, he's like, I just have some stuff in the basement. I need to get it out.
Yeah.
And then Paulie looks at him and goes, you get it all out. This, you know what I mean? I think that's just what it is. Some dudes that just have fought their whole entire life don't know what else to do, and they feel that gut. And I like Chuck Liddell coming out for Tito 3.
Right.
I don't think he had any business doing it.
Sure.
I'm not Chuck Liddell. I'm not his family. I don't think he had any business doing it. But now I think he can walk away and realize I have everything. Everything's out.
You think he does walk away? I sure as hell hope so.
I think now he walks away. But I think Matt Brown, win, lose, especially win, and it's a war, it's a dog fight like he likes, I think he finally goes, I needed that last one.
Right.
I really needed that.
Yeah.
Now I can go home and be the guy that I want to be. You know what I mean? Like I can just worry about being a family man. I don't have to have this anger in me anymore. Because he's a fighter. He's a true fighter. That dude is there to do one thing: take your damn head off.
Oh.
And do it like in a most violent fashion, right? And I think when people do that, stepping away from the violence that helps you be so soothing and everything like that, as far as like a therapy part, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The reason why I go to the gym, I don't want to be angry. I want to hit something. I want to get it all out. Everybody gets out. It's great stress relief, right?
Let it go.
I think that's what Mike Brown does.
Okay, so if you're keeping score at home, and let's keep score, John. First one, we agree. Second one, we disagree. You have Matt Brown. I got Ben Saunders. So that's we're going to keep score all the way through. And we're going to put together, how about this? Winner.
I'm going to tell everybody, he writes beautifully, like better handwriting than me, but he doesn't write it where we have enough room to do this scoring thing.
That's true.
So
winner wins a Warhammer Fightwear shirt. I'm going to call them up right now, Warhammer Fightwear. Check them out at warhammerfightwear.com. And let's get a T. You or I, and maybe they can put a little logo, the Professor on it, or maybe Dave.
Bro, if they could get us our names on the shirts, like the Professor and the Wave, or the hair, which one you want?
I would maybe say the hair, but then someone gave me a nickname. So, you can't make up the nickname. Someone gave it to me. I got to think about it. It was someone they call me Diamond Dave.
Yeah, I like that.
Pretty good, but that's Dustin. I can't use Dustin. All right, we're off to the next.
So you took on the first one. We're even.
Yep.
Chase
We took the Dream Hooper.
Chase Hooper.
And now this one.
This one I went with.
You got the immortal
Matt Brown.
Matt Brown. I took Ben Saunders. I think a transitional. But like I said, we're going up the card. We're going to skip the female women's bantamweight. We're going to the main event of the prelim card. And oh my goodness, if this isn't worth the other $60 you're going to spend on this card. Platinum Mike Perry, Orlando Platinum Mike Perry Fusion XL Performance Center.
Neil?
Hands of Steel Neil. People are like, don't sleep on this boy. Dana White Contender Series, 12-2, just defeated Nico Price. Just defeated Muhammad. He's on a 6-fight win streak, 4 in the UFC. I'm telling you, he's a problem.
And he is a problem. You're not lying about that. He beat Nico Price. Nico Price is is one of those guys that You definitely can have to worry about that. Up kick was nasty against Jane Vick.
Nico is that guy.
But he's at every direction he can do something.
He's Alex Nicholson. He can defeat any heavyweight or anyone in his division anytime, but then he can lose to someone. It's like, man, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Nico, you're better than that. Nicholson, you got that, man. You know what I mean? Dangerous fighter, could win any fight he's in. Talking about Alex Nicholson, his bro, Platinum, Mike Perry.
I got Mike in this one. I think
13-5.
Yes, I'm not worried about when Mike Perry goes in there. I don't worry about a record.
You're right on that, man.
Like, he's gonna bang one way or another, dude. If you get in a fight with Mike Perry, you're gonna know you're in a fight. You're not knowing you're not in a fight. Like, you're gonna get hit. Things are gonna happen, and everything like that. So I'm gonna take Mike Perry on that. I think he actually gets back in the knockout category.
I couldn't agree anymore.
So
Mike Perry with a knockout. Like, you ready for this one? You know how,
like, Jake Ellenberger knockout, like cold, like out, like.
I just think he sets the tone for the night. Like everything before, it's like, okay, guys, we're getting ready. Wow, everyone's in their seats now. It's at the T-Mobile Arena. It's on the West Coast. It's at late start. You're going to have Shaquille O'Neal there. You're going to have, who's the funny guy who is always there?
Kevin Hart?
Yeah, no, not Kevin Hart. White guy. He's always on the scooter thing. He had his own show. He's like a male guy. This is going to drive me crazy.
Oh, Kevin James.
Kevin James,
He
right?
was the male guy. He was the mall cop, not Oh, he played the UPS driver in Queens. That's what it was. Okay. I was like, male guy? He's on his bike? I was like...
I could have said any superstar in the world and been so
You
quick.
could have just said the guy who started the big boom, the boom.
Yeah,
boom.
boom.
Or whatever.
Yeah, that movie was actually
I
funny.
like that movie a lot.
Pretty funny. So everyone's going to be there, and this is going to set the tone. Mike Perry with a vicious knockout.
All right, so... Right now we got one separating us. Okay,
Yep.
So now we're on to, what's the next one?
Now we're starting the card.
Is it Jose Aldo?
No, before that, the legend, Uriah Faber versus Peter Yan.
All right, I know who you're going to take. I'm going to go with one more upset by the Uriah Faber. Uriah is getting one more upset in his career.
Wow.
And then he gets the title shot and he falters in the title shot.
No, dude, come on, man.
Not Faber, but I really do. I've loved watching the California Kid all the time. He's the first one that had his leg. Somebody grabbed his leg in a single, and he jumped up with the other leg and kneed him in the face and came back down. Like, I enjoy watching this guy.
100%. It's funny. I had so many old school memories of Chuck Liddell and Tito and the Natural Randy, Matt Hughes, all this. But like, honestly, kind of in that same zone.
I was watching WEC all day long.
Uriah Faber. Remember when WEC was on a loop at 2:00 in the morning on that Fuel?
Yep.
It was just on a loop, bro.
Yeah, I used to watch Eddie Wineland put people out.
Matt Brown.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Carlos Condit was natural born killer. Benson Henderson and Donald Cerrone and Jamie Farner's fights were amazing.
So, I just hate saying this, and like I'm a Uriah, but I got Yan. I just think 26 years old. You know this. We kind of that man's a problem, bro.
Jan Petri.
That he's a problem.
Pita or Petri or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. But
One, two, three,
I knew you were going to go that way. And I like
straight wins in the UFC.
Oh no, he's a monster. He's an absolute problem in that category.
Yeah.
And this is gonna help solidify Faber's legendary run. But I don't think he wins the title when he gets there. I just don't. I just think.
Okay, then off-script question: do you think the winner of this fight fights for the title?
I do think it can happen.
Right?
I do think. I think it leads more towards Uriah happening. It happening.
Yeah, I can see that. But one thing I can say is, this is a great transition into the next fight. Both of these fight are championship title contenders for that Henry Cejudo title.
No, absolutely. And
right?
The Marlon Morales Jose Aldo one, is could be another title contender, right? Or do you put the winner of those two up against each other?
Right. And one more. And how about you put Cejudo and he has to put up his flyweight title first? So this kind of gives
him some space.
Yes.
Gives him some space. So who against the fly? Well, we can get into that another time.
Benavidez. Oh, yeah. Benavidez.
But okay, I feel you. Benavidez, I got that. But my whole thing,
So we got two now. Cool. You got Brown and Faber. I got Saunders and Jan.
Yes.
Okay,
I think we split there.
You might be right.
I think we split there.
You might be right.
Either way, I think like one way or another, I think we split.
All right. How about the legend Jose Aldo?
Oh, dude.
Just
versus the Magic Man, Marlon Morales.
Did you think he was winning round 1 against Henry?
I thought he was winning round 1 against Henry.
Me too,
I think
man.
he came in.
I don't know. I think for some reason he like changed up his game plan or wanted to bang more with his Cejudo or something. It was
I think he thought he was going to hurt Cejudo more.
Right, I can see that.
And he was putting on such a beautiful display, Cejudo, and it wasn't that it wasn't doing damage to Cejudo. It definitely was. It hurt his leg, his foot when everything happened, because didn't he hurt his ankle in that fight?
And that was a while ago, and like I know you need to rest up, you need to get your body right, but it's been a while for the Magic Man, right?
Yeah, I think with that performance and the way that went down,
you just gotta
shake it off. You know what I mean? You got to think about it. Maybe go back and look at it. You know what I mean? Maybe you do have a lot of injuries from that. He stayed in there for a long time.
Yeah, Triple C.
Yeah, you know what I mean, against the champ and everything like that. So maybe you got to heal up a little bit and everything like that. And it's just there. But Henry's a different fighter now, man. He's impressed a lot. He's impressed me.
I know this is so cliche or so whatever, and we've coached our whole lives, both of us. Usually it's me and T-ball teams. You're just coaching up the next UFC great and Chris Mixon. But my point is, Henry Cejudo to me is that most improved since day one.
Yes,
he is a all around. To me, I don't think you can argue the fact he's a top 5 UFC fighter in the world right now.
Okay, so here's my point too. This is my 100% a point to agreeing with you. Okay, I'm agreeing 100% with you in that statement.
Okay,
he has arguably, I don't want to say arguably, everybody's, even striking coaches will tell you the best base to have is what?
Wrestling.
Yes, because it does two things to you. It creates the dog in you. And it teaches you a work ethic that is absolutely beyond anything that you're ever going to come across, right? So it folds into the sport as like the best way to get you ready for a sport like this, right?
Right.
You've got to go in there and battle. I mean, look at the stories Yoel Romero's told, all the other wrestlers that came from different practices. Ben Askren's background literally got him through his whole career was his wrestling and his grappling that way, right? From his basis. It was what dominated everybody for him. So I was telling somebody the other day that wrestlers by far have the greatest base, but each wrestler is different, right? So some wrestlers can adapt and use their wrestling in the ways that they want to, and they become strikers. They can become very elite strikers, i.e. Chuck Liddell was a wrestler in college, used it to reverse wrestle and became a striker, right? Look at John Jones. He grew up as a wrestler, and now he's a prolific striker, right? And then another major one is T.J. Dillashaw. Literally got pursued after his college career of wrestling to come to Team Alpha Male. Learns to strike, learns from Dwayne Lugwood, and becomes one of the better kickboxers in MMA for his style and his weight class, right? So my thing is, wrestlers do have the best background, but not every wrestler understands how to convert their learning and their body and how they learn to do things with their body to striking.
Right.
It becomes very tough for them. Colby Covington, a wrestler, right? But he's learned how to take striking in his own way.
Yeah, he strikes with pace.
It's volume.
Yeah, volume.
60% at a clip, 65 at a clip, nothing over 75.
Right.
And he can do it all day, right?
Right.
He's saving all that extra energy to beat you so he can wrestle, so he can do that thing, so he can use his gas tank, which we'll get into more with the breakdown in a little bit.
Hey.
But the idea behind it is what I'm saying is not all wrestlers can become great strikers, and not all strikers can learn how to wrestle well, right? But when you find those kids that can wrestle, but then can understand the learning of their body and understand how the meticulousness of wrestling is the same as the meticulousness of striking, you know what you see?
Gosh.
You see people like Mike Davis. You see people like Alex Volkanovski. Right? Did I say that right?
You killed it.
I killed it. Okay.
Bro, the professor for a reason. Holy crap, you're on
people
fire.
like Henry Cejudo has now
Right.
changed his entire striking style, and he's now used it and adapted his MMA wrestling with it, right?
It's great. It's brilliant. I'm
He
loving
catches
this.
leg kicks. He catches kicks. He catches things like this, turns them into shots for singles, for doubles, for things like that. So he uses every aspect of it. And because of that, that's going to make him much better of a fighter.
Right.
It's going to make him much better of a fighter. It's going to make him all those different things. And then when he has to do what he's great at, that he's did his whole life, what comes out? It's like your 3-point shot, Dave. Naturally, it just comes out.
Yeah, it's
and
in the back pocket.
It's in there.
Whenever you need it.
We putting it through. So that's what they do. So that's the best part about wrestlers. If you can find a wrestler that can truly understand to break down and not be that hard-headed wrestler that says, "Oh, wrestling wins everything." You know what I mean? Like, and they get into the groove and really learn the way they learned wrestling. They learn striking that way. It's a hard combination to beat, bro.
Wow. So
I mean, Frank Yeager did it with boxing for most of his career, with boxing and just.
Oh yeah, there's just so
wrestling.
many, throughout the evolution of mixed martial arts, the evolution of the UFC, that you can see that. Okay, back to the list: Jose Aldo, Marlon Morales. Who do you got winning this fight? I'll give you the first shot at it.
Jose.
Let's disagree once again. You're going, I love it a little bit. This is like you're going with an all-star team. Remember the Simpsons had that baseball episode, and it was like Wade Boggs and Ken Griffey Jr. was like all the Jose
Wade
Canseco.
Boggs? God, we're showing our age.
I know, bro.
Ken Griffey Jr. had that man's rookie card.
Matt Brown, Mike Perry, Urijah Faber, and Jose Aldo.
Bro, Jose Aldo, he's dropping down. I get it. He's probably dieting great. I feel he has that one last run. I don't know if he's going to get the title, but I feel he has that one last run. He can go. He can go make that run. And not to be real, not to not be real. Let's be serious about if Jose Aldo and Henry Cejudo fight. Jose Aldo's got a hell of a takedown defense. And he kicks like a son of a gun.
The only thing... Okay, so I got Magic Man. I think the Magic Man was so close to being Cejudo. He wants that rematch. He wants that opportunity back. He beat Dotson. He's beat Sterling. He's proved to me that he is one of the greatest bantamweight fighters in the game. And I thought he had round one against the Triple C. So I think, he gets right back on the horse, right back on the winning column. I think he beats Aldo. Your point, I think Aldo has a great shot against Henry, and I think he will use the chip on the shoulder, the grudge that you don't let go, the worst professional moment in his life, the Conor McGregor, and he will use that to not let Henry get in his head. He will use that to just have his game plan, not rush anything. I don't think he throws a leg kick for a minute. You know what I mean? I think he will just walk around the octagon, and man, if that fight happens, fight breakdown. So okay, cool. I got Magic. You got Jose. You got legends. Can't go wrong. We're finally here. Triple main event. Triple titles on the line. Let's stick with the first one. We're talking about the female bantamweight title.
The baddest woman on the planet defending her first title of 2.
Right? Against GDR. And I'm just...
you sleeping on GDR over there?
100% not sleeping on GDR. Love her. I'm actually looking at it right here. Beat Aspen Ladd. Beat Pennington. Beat Holly Holm.
Hold on, how she beat Aspen Ladd, though?
5-fight win streak, by the way. But
starched her. Like, when I say starched her, yeah, like, no, I understand you appealed at Aspen, but she knocked the shit out you.
I've been a advocate about pushing or just letting the world know that I think Amanda Nunes is, you ready? Underrated. She doesn't get talked about as pound for pound. She doesn't get talked about as one of the. I think already
she's the baddest female on the planet.
Yeah, she's the greatest female fighter of all time. Now.
Yes.
She retires and it's like, oh yeah, she's the greatest female of all time. And I don't think she gets that love. I don't think she gets that credit. And I think she puts a absolute spectacular ending to 2019. I think she First round just demolishes her. I think she makes a statement. I think it's sometimes in life, you know this, John, it's like this fight means more to Amanda than to GDR. Like, she's been here before. She's about it.
I can't even argue that point because sometimes I'm not sure if because you don't hear enough about GDR. Like, I don't know her
right.
I don't know her when she at one point she didn't want to fight Cyborg, so she let go of the title after she beat Holly Holm.
Yeah, I'm not down with that.
I get that, but at the same time, maybe it's also not a bad move not to fight Cyborg at a title you didn't even want. She didn't even want to fight at 145.
No, and I get that, I do, but it's like. If it was a regular fight, bro, you know what I'm saying? If it was a regular match or what, you're the champion of the world.
Oh no, I mean, I get it.
You got the gold. And they didn't offer if she wasn't the challenger. And then if I would understand that if it's not a good matchup, the date didn't work out, whatever it is, you're the champ. So why even fight for that title? You know what I'm saying? If you didn't want to defend that title.
Dave, what does it come down to that everybody fights for? They're called prize fighters for what?
Money.
Yep. So
okay.
they offered her a good payday that she's going to give give me a fight that's not a title, and I'm not getting that much money, so I'm going to take that.
Okay. Can I go in a little bit of this? This is I'm just okay, and I'm a WWE guy.
Yeah.
And Shayna Baszler, she's like one of the hottest females in the game right now. She's
used to be a fighter.
Oh yeah, NXT champion. So Amanda Nunes beat her March of 2015.
Yes.
In the UFC, beat Baszler, leg kick and punches round 1. Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
Then she defeats Sarah McMahon. Then she beats, I don't know if you know this name, Valentina the Bullet.
Yeah, she's fought her a couple times, right? Twice.
Then she beat Misha Cupcake Tate at UFC 200 main event.
First of all, she didn't just beat Misha Tate.
Right.
It was...
Put her in retirement.
Misha Tate said that was the hardest she's ever been hit by anybody.
Man or female.
Yes, by anybody.
For sure. Then she beats, I don't know if you heard of this name, and talking about WWE, talking about Ronda Rousey.
Yeah,
the Babe Ruth of the female division.
Let's be real about that, since we're going to be real today on everything.
Yeah.
That fight should have never happened, and everybody knows that shit.
But
anybody honestly think that Ronda Rousey, after all those mental anguish problems that you had from losing,
right.
from, in my opinion, having way too many yes people around you and not being real with your striking about it, do you really? No one thought. I mean, there was no way you thought after what Amanda Nunes did to win that title.
Yeah, Misha, the Bullet, and Sarah, and then to fight Ronda. Okay, so then she walks through Ronda in 48 seconds. So then she goes against the toughest matchup she had to date.
At that time,
at Valentina again.
Well, Valentina again, yes. And then after that, she fought the baddest woman on the planet, right?
Not yet, bro. And then she gets another win against Raquel Pennington.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, so the guys, Baze, McMahon, Valentina, Tate, Rousey, Valentina, Pennington, then Chris Cyborg in 51 seconds. Still, in my book, in the Mount Rushmore of female MMA in the history. She's in the Mount Rushmore.
100%.
Okay. Then, so it's like, okay, that's it? No. She defeats Holly Holm in the first.
With a head kick.
First round Holly Holm, first round Cyborg, first round Rondo, fourth round Cupcake. She is underrated above anything. Gosh, she's a stud. Absolute stud. And you know what she's going to do to GDR? First round demolish.
First round knockout?
Yeah.
TKO or true knockout?
True knockout. Overhand right. Pop.
So first round, pow, right hand, putting her down, and referee stepping in right away? Or are we going to have to go to the ground a little bit?
No, I think the referee stops it.
Okay.
I think she's earned that respect. It's like, oh, Amanda did it again.
No, I get you. I get you on that.
You feel that?
Now, I actually don't think that's going to go down that way. I think that Jermaine has I want to say, I'm going to take a shot at this. Jermaine de Rondame.
Rondamain.
Okay.
Rondamain.
So, GDR.
Yep.
Okay. So we're right. Sorry, no disrespect. No disrespect. You're a great fighter, but I have to go with GDR so I don't murder your name.
It's like OSP. It's like
I'm not even gonna say all that. Yeah, it's just GSP, OSP, and GDR. We're way better off with those. That's what I'm gonna rock and roll with. I honestly think that the striking becomes nullified, and that she has to take her to the ground and do her jiu-jitsu thing, and I think she actually ends up. I think GDR gives up her back, and she gets a rear naked choke.
First round,
second. That's why I think the game plan changes in a second.
Okay.
Because I think the first round is I'm not saying she doesn't. Nobody gets rocked. Nobody gets touched. Nobody gets, those type of things. But I just feel that, you know what I mean, that they're going to, it might get nullified. Because she's not, it's not like this girl is not a good striker. You know what I mean? She's a world-class kickboxer.
Absolutely.
Everything like that. So it's like, I think it can get nullified. They're tall. They're long. They're both, they got the range. I think at the end, in the second round, with the teams being as smart as they are, with American Top Team being behind her,
right?
Mike Brown is probably one of the most genius minds.
Matt Brown. Oh, Mike Brown.
No,
you're right. You nailed it. The professor.
Mike Brown, I think has become a better coach than he ever was a fighter. I think he's a genius.
That's how they do it. Like Michael Jordan can never coach. John Jones or GSP just
the greatest ever don't become.
Right.
Pat Riley was a great player.
A good player.
He was a upper class player in his day,
right.
but not the best.
Right.
But he was a hell of a coach.
Because he had to work hard and grind, and every little detail he had to figure out to become a good player, a great player. Mike Brown had to train hard, find every little secret, and just work harder than everyone else to become a really good fighter.
Yeah.
But now he is coach of the year.
I mean,
there's no one better doing it. There's no one.
He's amazing at it. You know what I mean? No one's trying to actually deny that at all. I think he is easily one of the best coaches in MMA today. Period. And he's learning from he learned how to coach from guys like Den Thomas. You know what I mean? Who's been in the game forever, and now he's taking it to another level. He was already a smart fighter, and when you're a smart fighter and you have that IQ. If you have any inclination of being able to teach anyone anything, it's just going to blossom. You know what I mean? You're going to learn that and go. So with those teams being so smart, back to the topic at hand, I think they look at her and go, "Hey, why don't you give me that? Why don't you give me that inside trip? Why don't you give me something when you're in the clinch? Get it to the ground and let's dominate." And I think ultimately with GDR probably not being on her back a lot, you know what I mean? I think ultimately to get up, she gives up her back. And with that, I believe the rear naked choke finds its place. Probably with a body triangle locked in.
I can't wait. I hope that night Amanda cements herself as a pound-for-pound one of the greatest fighters in the world, regardless of sex, man, female. I'm pumped.
Okay, so we're doing it. We're doing our count. We're doing our score, right?
Yes, sir.
So we're even on that one now, right?
Yep.
But because you say it's ending in a knockout and I say it's ending with a submission, let's put that down, and that'll be our decider. If it goes to decision, we both get a point as long as Amanda wins. But if you're right, you get 2 points. If I'm right the way I pick, I get 2 points. You still get your point for the win, but we'll get the bonus with the
I remember leaving home school. I was in 4th grade. And my dad and my older brother, Gary, we played the game Risk. Have you ever played that board game?
It's a hell of a game.
It's we played for 2 weeks. And I remember no, I'm not going in the park with my boys. I'm not going to kiss the girl underneath the cheerleader. You know what I mean? The cheerleader underneath the bleachers. I'm going home to play the game Risk. And it was the greatest game I've ever played. This is number 2.
You were lucky enough to kiss the cheerleader underneath the bleachers?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Bro.
Kara Rickabaugh.
He you heard that? You heard that? He called you out. He said you were kissing me underneath the bleachers. All I'm saying is you was living the teeny bopper dreams, man. You were living the 1990s rom-com for teens.
And I pushed it all the way for the board game Risk. And that's what I'm trying to say. This game here is number 2, dude.
I love you even more.
Thanks, man. This is it. We should have done that from the get-go, but I love it. Maybe you're so smart to do it in the top 3.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's better that way. I think it's better at the top. That's our bonus rounds. It's a double jeopardy.
The Professor Jon Radford, guys. Show him love. I think he likes get him I'm a Dunkin' Donuts guy.
I'm a Jersey Mike's guy.
Okay, so get Jersey Mike's gift cards and send it to John Noss. Find him on PayPal.
Yeah, man. JRad at 3D. Send it. JRad 3D. I mean, not at 3D. JRad 3D at Gmail. Send it.
The co-main event could be the main event of 10 months of the year for the UFC.
100%. The man, the myth, the legend, the blessed is fighting.
Yeah.
That's what, honestly, he's still one of my favorites to watch fight, period, end. Like, I don't think I've...
Top 3 to watch, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've missed a fight of his because they're just exciting. He's he's coming for action.
Yeah, that's a great point. Again, gosh, I want to disagree more. Let's talk more about Faber and Jan. You're right.
On the other hand, he's fighting a monster.
Alexander Volkanovski.
The guy, something that we just talked about, right? How a guy who can wrestle has now turned into a extremely dangerous striker.
Oh, Volkanovski.
Volkanovski? I don't know. We had this before it started, bro.
Did.
We really did.
Volkanovski.
All right, we're calling him Alex.
The Great. Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great. Let's roll with that. So, AG, Alexander the Great, he
20-1.
Yeah, dude, he's a bad
and
Hey, you know what camp he's out of, right?
No, I don't.
You really don't?
No, give it to me.
Guess who he bangs with every day of the week?
Bobby Knuckles.
The last style bender.
Really?
And Dan the Hangman Hooker. He comes from the camp that is now resurging.
I like him even more now.
Bringing New Zealand to the map, right? Like all those gyms that gym down there with them, they're sponsored by Engage, which is actually I think if I heard him right, started out as a media platform that has turned into a gear and lifestyle brand. And they're all sponsored by that, I believe. Him, Alex, when I say him, the style bender, Alex and Dan the Hangman Hooker, I think are all there. But they're all out of the same gym, so they're banging with each other, training hard, all that kind of stuff. So that's a heck of a camp.
20-1. His UFC wins are just awesome. Jose, Chad, Darren, Jeremy Kennedy, Shane Young, it just keeps going and going. 8 straight wins in the UFC. 31 years old, just an absolute stud. The base, Alexander the Great. To
me, the most dangerous fight for Max Holloway since
since Frankie, Dustin, Brian Ortega, Jose Aldo. That's murderer's row.
It really is, bro, isn't it?
Wow.
Okay, since Khabib. I didn't think Dustin was such a dangerous fight until it happened. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not taking anything away from the man. Dustin goes down as one of my all-time favorites from now on for what he did and what he's done in his career. He goes down as one of my all-time favorites, not going to lie about that. But I didn't think that was as dangerous as a fight for Max as Khabib would have been and as the first Jose Aldo fight.
Right, yeah.
So, but this one, Alex, this fight is a dangerous fight.
And let me we talked about it off air, so I love bringing it to the light, to the Fight Bananas community. Fight Bananas official on the IG. Slide into those DMs. Out of all 6 guys, there's 3 title fights. It's on the poster. We'll get into the main event in a second. Definitely the grudge match out of the 3. The females, Amanda Nunes, pound for pound. GDR, it's a rematch. It's just like even GDR has been a champ. She's even showing some love. Alexander is absolutely the one out of these 6 men or female that's overlooked, overshadowed, put away. We've talked. John, this is what I do for daily, minutely, D&M, talking, phone call, Skyping. I'm talking to so many people in the game. And everyone says Max Holloway, the blessed one of our favorites. How can you not pick Max Holloway? In his division, the man doesn't lose. Frankie, Brian, Jose, Anthony Showtime, Pettis, Lamas, Jeremy Stevens, Charles Olivier. We just saw what Charles did with Flash Gordon, Cub Swanson, Cole Miller. The man just gets the job done. So I think Alexander has this bag of chips on the shoulder that's dangerous for a fighter?
All right, so the chip on the shoulder, everything like that, I get it. I understand. I can't go against my boy, so I will take Max. But let me just put it this way: I might be a little bit nervous during this whole entire fight.
Okay, really?
I'm just.
It's one of those fights.
He's not a dude to sleep on.
I agree, man. I agree.
And one hit between these guys can change the outcome. You know what I mean? You kick a guy in a calf kick just right, just the perfect position. You know what I mean?
Right.
It could really, 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 really like change the aspect. Maybe he doesn't move as well. Maybe he can't get the distance that he wants now because he took that there.
Do you think the Great One can pull off like a knockout to Max? Because Max has that chin. Yeah. That homie's got chin for days. That boy's got chin like Jay Leno.
I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those. I think it's going to have to be a Colby Covington-esque performance.
Ooh.
Like, I think he's going to have to put volume on him, and get him to go back and get him to do that, and then pick him up, take him down, let him fight to get back up. It's not going to be the prettiest performance ever, I think, to win.
Yeah, the grit.
But it's one of those where you look at it like when you remember watching Khabib Edson Barboza, where you just felt for Edson like you're.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like that, but I think that's the type of style that, or the Robbie Lawler Colby Covington fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He keeps taking him up, keeps taking him down, keep picking him up, taking him down, keep punching him in the face, volume, things like that. Just can't really get him off of you, you know what I mean, type of thing. I think if he wins, it's more along those lines. I think if Max wins, it's probably by a finish.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Max, that's what Max does in his division.
He does, bro.
You know what I mean? And like you said, why go against Bless when he's done so much? And I'm not going to go against him. I think he finishes something late. You know, I think he gets his rhythm, finds his distances, does what he does, and puts the volumized version of MMA.
Would you want to predict it first, or you want me to?
Oh, because we're doing that?
Yeah.
4th round TKO.
So the professor has Max Blessed Holloway, 4th round TKO.
And I think that's actually only the 2nd round he gets to get off in. I think he starts in the 3rd. I think the first 2 rounds he gets taken down a little bit, and he doesn't quite find his rhythm, and then he gets the defensive, he gets the defense down, and then starts popping and going.
So I said this whole thing about the chip on the shoulder, and he's the shadow guy, and he's overlooked. I got Max Holloway 2nd round TKO. He's the blessed one, bro.
Yeah,
it's like I'm not going against that.
And he's also the 2nd nicest guy in MMA, fighting for the 1st. Between Stephen Boy, Wonderboy Thompson.
Yeah, good point. No.
Stephen has to be, because even in
Max isn't close. Like Max is he's
he's really close.
No. He's there's like really quarterbacks. Like Brett Favre's great. Brady's got him.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. It's like
you just can't be nicer than Wonderboy Thompson. Like there's just
golly, you know.
Yeah. It's like, man, I did punch you in the face, but you can get me back next time.
Yeah, it's like, it's all right. Oh, I knocked you down here. Get up, and then we'll fist bump, and we'll keep fighting. Wow. You know what I mean? It's
so I got Max, and that's where we're going to go. So I got 2nd round. You got 4th round. Wow. I almost said 1. But I think he's a little hesitant at the beginning to make sure he's not being taken down, and and he throws punches and bunches. I think Alexander eats a couple, and then he gets him.
Okay.
So, okay, guys, we're here.
Oh my goodness,
we almost did a whole show just on this one fight, and the card was so great. We had to talk about Mike Perry, we had to talk about Urijah Faber, we had to talk about Chase Super, we had to talk about Jose Aldo, we had to talk about Amanda Nunes, and we had to talk about Max Holloway. We are here, main event, UFC 245, December 14th, T-Mobile Arena, for the welterweight championship of this world, the hottest division in the UFC.
Okay, so is this the grudge? Do we call it like? I don't want to throw this in with the greatest grudge matches because I feel like this is like
no.
Like
not top 20.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Like
I think
I could just name 18 Chael Sonnen fights.
I just saw the Vanderlei Silva, Chael Sonnen, thing on their Instagram, and my whole thing is with this is. The grudge to me is real, but at the same time, it was fabricated through other people.
Yeah, and it's
you know what I mean?
And I think right now Colby Covington is trying to pull a little bit of the Chael, and anyone he fights right now is just going to be that heated.
So I'm gonna blow his little thing up because I don't really care.
Wow,
he's not really that jerk of a guy, from what I understand.
Oh no, he's a good guy. Everyone says.
Yeah,
everyone
says
he's
playing 100% a heel.
Oh yeah,
he turned his whole shtick into the WWE, version of everything. Right?
Smart guy.
not being wrong with it, absolutely, but he's not. It's not real.
So John, one guy's record is 15-1. The other guy's record is 15-1.
So someone's got to go 16-1, and someone's got to go 15-2.
One is 31 years old. One is 32 years old. One weighs 170 pounds. One weighs 170 pounds. These guys are identical. These guys, and to me, they're really similar about. Just to me, wrestle and base. They're strong. They both can strike. I think Usman is definitely more powerful. Colby is more punches and bunches, a little bit like Max Holloway. So that one's a little bit different. But these guys are almost identical type of fighters. And
fight day, who weighs more?
Usman.
Yeah, okay. Me too. I think he weighs a good 10 pounds more.
No.
No, you don't think so?
No, I would say 6.
Apples and oranges.
It's like, I would say 188, 190 to like 182, 184 in there. Usman's around the 188, 190.
How tall are they?
So Usman, 6 foot on the dot. And Colby Covington.
He's 195 on fight day, bro.
5'11".
Colby Covington is 188. Okay, 7-pound difference. So there you go.
So
I'm doing the prices right. I'm doing the prices right. I'm one above you.
Yeah.
That's a 7-pound difference on fight day.
So Usman beat Tyron Woodley to, win the championship March of this year.
Did you enjoy that fight at all?
No, I didn't.
I didn't think Woodley would pull the trigger.
Woodley does that once every 3 years.
And when he hits you, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
And it's really weird. I don't know why. I do know why. Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz, the Leon Edwards, Wonder Boy. Just the welterweight division is just insane.
Oh, it's huge.
And it's just like, there's so many guys I love, my favorite of all time. It's just, it's weird to say this. Usually the championship fight is like the fight you want most in the division. It's the most important. It's just not, bro. Right? Like, it's just not. If Nick Diaz and Georgie says, hey, we're going after it in February, Cowboy Stadium, it just demolishes this.
Oh.
And I think they're almost waiting for after this card to announce it. You know what I mean?
I mean, once you deciphered the Nick Diaz interview, which I completely enjoyed.
We watched it together.
Yeah, I completely enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
Orlando.
Completely enjoyed it. Didn't understand a lot of it all the time, but I followed it for the most part. You know what I mean?
So they both beat RDA. That's kind of a funny little. They both beat him, and then one beat Robbie Lawler, one just beat Woodley. They were so similar. It's really eerie. Really eerie.
Oh well, yeah. So
it's go time. How?
All right. Before we do that, before we go time, how's somebody's going to win all that? Does this turn into the boringest striking match ever because they both want to wrestle? Or does this turn into the boringest wrestling match ever because they both want to wrestle?
I can see them grappling, but okay, I like doing this. We do this a lot. If Colby wins and if Colby loses, what's next? And if Usman wins and if Usman loses, who's next?
Colby loses, he leaves town.
No,
I'm just kidding.
My goodness,
I'm completely just joking.
Oh, wow.
He's way too talented. He's a hell of a fighter. Not going to deny that. Don't really care for his shtick, but not going to deny the fact that he's a hell of a fighter, right? If Colby loses, give him Wonder Boy.
Really?
Vicente Luco, Colby Covington versus Wonder Boy. That would be if Vicente Luco was coming, I would have said, Colby versus Vicente would have been a good one.
Yeah.
If they lost. I think you give him Wonder Boy. It's a whole nother style he's never fought.
You know who I say?
Who?
Mike Platinum Perry.
Oh, yeah, let him have it. Let him go at it.
For some reason, they got a big beef.
Oh, yeah, let it go.
Yeah, right?
I'm good.
He loses. Thank you.
Take that. We'll take that. Let's go with that.
Okay, won that one. If Colby wins, and he's the undisputed welterweight champion of this world, Georgie Masvidal.
I'd still rather see George fight Nick Diaz.
Right. Me too.
Like big brother, little brother thing has me way more intrigued.
The UFC has that on the back burner. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's there anytime you want it.
Right. So I just think the rivalry is so real right now with AT. They should. The fights, like, guys, are we
just have it at ATT?
Yes. Don't have it at Brooklyn. Don't have it in Las Vegas. You sell out Coconut Creek. Tickets are $2,000 a pop.
Oh, it's big enough.
I love that gym.
You could put stadium seats around it and just sell it out for a private.
You can fit 800 people in that thing. You can sell tickets are $25 a hit.
You know what they could do? They could do a one night. You transfer it all the way there, right? So like you have a card.
Oh my god!
And they have like an intermission to show that.
Right.
And that's the fight there at ATT.
Yeah.
And then everybody, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's insane.
It's like, how they did when Spider was so big and they needed to get him on a card, but they didn't know how to do the prelims and everything. So they had one fight for 1 hour on Spike TV before a pay-per-view. And it was Spider versus Sandman Irvin.
Yep.
And it lasted all of 14 seconds, like 16 seconds or something.
Catch the leg, pop.
Bang, and then the guy, and he 2 punches and it was over, right? Do something like that. Have like an intermission.
That's so awesome.
And then sell that out, right? And for this time, guess what? It's $10.99 one fight, or $5.99 one fight. You can buy it or whatever.
Come over to the Van Auken house.
All right,
we're getting it. If Usman loses and wins, I say if he loses, I would actually like to see him. I can see the rematch versus Woodley. I would like that a lot. If not, I wouldn't mind seeing Usman versus Leon Edwards if he loses.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
And if he wins,
I'm good with that.
And he kind of defends the title, I think it's the Masvidal. He waits for Masvidal to beat Diaz.
Usman's not fighting Masvidal unless it's the only last available option.
Right.
And I don't think Colby wants that fight either.
Oh, Colby does not want that smoke.
No. And I think neither one of them want to fight that. I think the bottom line is, Jorge, if you want the most money possible, skip the belt, fight Nick Diaz, get pay-per-view points. Everybody and their mother is gonna buy the pay-per-view to see Nick Diaz fight, especially to defend the honor of his little brother. All that good stuff. You can't play it any better than that. If you want to say the Diaz brothers are running the game because they're doing shit like this, well, I don't really care. The bottom line is, if you love this fight game, that's the fight you want to watch. But when Big Brother says he's coming, and Big Brother had the most potential in the welterweight division to become one of the greatest fighters ever.
Right, yeah.
And I'll sit and argue that with anybody. He had the potential to become one of the greatest. And he probably had some of the most potential you've ever seen to become one of the greatest. You know what I mean?
Right. The welterweight division is just so stacked. You can't lose. If both guys lose, we're going to get great fights either way. Whoever wins, great fights. We love it.
Oh, yeah.
As fans and just being in the game like we are, man, it's
you
awesome.
Have become extremely good with the matchmaking afterwards and where you should go, what direction they should go.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. Everything you said, that's fantastic. You're doing, when you really do see the potential matchup futures pretty well. So,
bro,
I agree with you. I think either way that goes.
Go after this and say, hey, I want the spot.
That's right. Give it to me.
Yep,
Let's
I
go.
want it.
My next, you're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like this. It's gonna come down to a decision. We're gonna watch two grown men wrestle each other for a long time, and guess who wins?
You said I'm not gonna like it, so I think you're gonna say Usman will defend the title.
I'm going for a draw.
Oh my gosh! This is the first ever Fight Breakdown, Fight Banana. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.
we
the
are not.
Professor says the draw.
We're not going to not have to see this twice, bro. I just don't. It's one of those fights that you're hoping that it ends early, significantly, quickly. I really does. I hope somebody starches somebody or somebody just completely beats the brakes off of one another, right?
Of course.
But I think what we have here is
wow, a stalemate.
Draw.
Wow. The Professor pulls one out of the magic hat, and if this happens, we will replay 59 minutes and 36 seconds to 59 minutes and time it 46 seconds over and over and over again.
You're gonna buy me sushi if that happens.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Wherever you want.
We're just gonna go have sushi one night.
Okay.
If that happens.
My prediction.
Which is probably the right one. I think I just lost this whole thing on that prediction that I gave you. If I get it, I should win the whole thing.
You might. That's worth 5 bonus points. Like my son, sometimes he does something good. I'm like, what do you got? I'm like, dude, you got 2 bonus points. And he goes, yes. Like, we've never done, like, if you get 100, you get something or 9. It's just like, he's just happy to get bonus points.
Everybody's, they're in his world, it's 2 extra cool points from his dad.
I remember when I was debating about Khabib and Conor, and I don't know if it was you, John, or it was someone else. They're like, man, there's just some people in the world you just don't mess with the wrong way. There's just some people you just don't stick the needle in. I think Usman's one of those guys. I think Colby's made this too serious. They walked out 3 weeks ago at UFC, and Usman didn't have a shirt on. He's going to starch him. First round.
You said he's going to starch him?
Within 2 minutes,
Oh!
Usman puts Colby Covington to sleep. And you ready for this one? I think Covington never fights for the title ever again. And Usman, I think this is the fight that catapults him to that, wow, like a welterweight legend. And I think you're right.
What did you welterweight legend?
Yep.
Because he beat Tyrone Woodley?
Covington, and then he's going to defeat Leon Edwards for a little 3-pack in a row. If you win 3 welterweight championship fights in a row, you get up there.
You get up there.
If he beats Covington and Leon Edwards, he's the 6th greatest welterweight in the history of the game.
Okay, stop the podcast now. We got to argue that another day. The 6th greatest, so almost
17-1.
Two away from Mount Rushmore, bro?
Yeah.
Ever?
Come after it.
Not right now.
Okay.
Don't have enough time for that right now. We'll definitely debate that again.
That's a whole nother podcast.
A whole nother podcast. I do like where your mind's at, though. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
I like it. You're forward thinking, and that's what I like about you.
We're just creating content.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I do.
You're just creating. John's going to lose his shit about stuff because you're saying things, and you
So
know how
I
to
got
get a rise out of
Usman,
me.
First round knockout.
Okay, so my whole thing is like you start like cold card starch, or does he get 2 more extra off because he just doesn't like the guy that bad?
Yeah, 2 more, and
is it like a Ben Askren where homeboy hits him not that fast, but I'm saying like hits him so hard he's down and he gets to him before the ref can get to him to hit him a couple more times.
Yeah.
He gets to him quick enough to hit him a couple more times?
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. A little Hendo bomb on him.
Oh.
Yeah, a little Hendo bomb on him.
Still the scariest hit I've ever seen in my life.
And all the time, how many fights have we seen that the guy gets him and then like he falls the wrong way because you're knocked out and you throw that extra punch, but it's never clean. It's never flush with the guy knocked out just because
even Jorge's wasn't as ugly as when Dan Hendo jumped.
Yeah. Clean,
and he already hit super hard.
Ken Griffey Jr. sweet swing,
dude.
The Roy Jones Jr. jab. There's just sweet.
The Roy Jones Jr. pull too. Flash to sleep. It's all. Yeah, it's just. You're right.
Here's the scoreboard, guys. We got John the Professor, Chase Hooper, Matt Brown, Mike Perry, Urijah Faber, Jose Aldo, Amanda submission, Max Holloway 4th round TKO, and a draw in the main event. And you got the greatest professional podcaster in this galaxy, me, Chase Super, Ben Saunders, Mike Perry, Jan Magic Morales, the Amanda with a knockout, Max Holloway 2nd round TKO, and Usman 1st round KO. Gosh, if I nail those 3 title fights, I said knockout, 2nd round TKO, 1st round knockout. That's a people will be happy.
Yes.
Like
yes.
people like
if
like,
I call the draw, I'm not going to be happy.
I know.
Because we're going to have to see
you
this.
You put it out there.
We have to.
You put it out there.
I know, but does it not?
You put it out there.
Let's put it this way. Does it not feel like something we might have to watch again? Do you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like that fight that you just don't want to see again. Like, you're hoping something happens to one of them. Most people probably hope it happens to Colby. But I just think I need a decisive win here, and I just don't feel it's going to happen.
What fight has ever been like that?
Where I didn't want to see it again?
Yeah. Have you ever thought of that?
Oh, man. What was the...
Nothing's coming to mind. You ready for one?
No,
the BJ Penn Frankie.
Oh, the second one I didn't need to see. I knew it was going to happen the same way.
Right.
I didn't need to see that.
Both of them are not prime, but like it was just like.
And then the Yair Rodriguez BJ. There was a lot of BJ Penns lately that I didn't. None of those I needed to see. I'm not going to be mean, and it's not meant. It's.
I said it once, and I'll say it again. That BJ Penn's a great website.
That's what you're going to. Damn, that was a hell of analogy. Nobody remembers Madden for being an announcer or a coach. They remember him for a video game.
I know. Like Christian McCaffrey's a 99 at a running back. It's like for Madden. It's like, oh my goodness. But wow, that's our longest fight breakdown to date. We didn't break down 1, 2, or 3. We broke down the whole card. Main card, 2 prelim, 1 early prelim.
God,
yeah,
great.
like UFC.
Okay, so
you're welcome.
Here's a question for you to end the podcast, since we're dealing with one of the best cards we've had all year, which I can honestly say that.
Yep.
Is this the best year in the past 10 years for fight cards? Let's break 10. You think 10, or do you want to say 5?
No, best
year ever for fight cards.
Yeah, best fight card ever.
Okay.
I just think we talked
best
about
year
it.
for fight cards.
Yeah,
not best fight card.
Yeah. Oh, of course not. Yeah, this is in the top 20.
Because there was another card this year that was stacked that was right up there with it, right? Wouldn't you say? With this one?
Man, I gotta do the order.
What to look through it. But this is probably the best year for fights.
What was the best?
Most recently.
Remember, one was the trip just off the top of my head. It was the Stipe DC to Yoel Romero Costa. And then there was one more on that night. Israel, Kelvin Gass.
No, Israel and Kevin. No, it was Israel. And it was Israel and
Bobby Knuckles.
No, it was Israel and Spider.
No, it wasn't.
But it wasn't Kevin Gastelum. Kevin Gastelum was with Dustin Poirier and Max. That was a hell of a card too,
what I
bro.
mean. Like that's just one card. It's just over and over again. Because the guys, let's just be real here. They got ESPN money now, so they're not worrying about.
So what is that also called? ESPN money is also called what money? Disney money.
Oh, yeah. Disney Plus money. They got that. They got me for 2 years. I signed it.
Did you really?
Oh, of course did. I got a discount.
I just want
2 boys and about to be 2 girls. Disney can have my money forever. Let it go. Let it go. Can't take this anymore. So they got the money. They don't need in a weird way, like the Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, football player, CM Punk. They don't kind of need that anymore. They're just making sick, great fights. Like in the spring, remember it was Georgie versus Till. Just insane fights the whole year long.
It was it's been ridiculous.
Stacked.
Been ridiculous.
The middleweight, Jared Kinnear, he's been on fire.
Dark horse in the middle division,
right,
for real.
Right,
homeboy hits hard, and like Israel was on Joe Rogan's podcast the other day saying about like you saw him walk somebody down with his hands down in heavyweight. You don't really walk somebody down with your hands down in heavyweight. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you a serious question though?
Yeah.
What are you doing listening to the Joe Rogan podcast? And
I listened to all of ours already. He has 1,000. We were trying to get there.
And
just so everybody knows, we're over 100 now.
That's true. This is it's over 100. I don't even know what number it is because we got so many.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But hey, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube Fight Bananas channel. Right?
Yeah.
Check that out. All the content's there.
Yeah. Big shout out to all of our sponsors. We plugged a lot throughout the whole show. One of the ones we want to give some love right now is Mako Tech mouth guards. They're there, guys, in Gulf Coast. They're there in the Panhandle. They're just helping a ton of fighters, but not even just fighters, guys.
Mako, send me a kit, man. Let me try it out.
There you go. She's a dentist, and she's all about, taking she feels like the grill, the mouth guards that are out there are just not up to her standards. So
Understood.
She made her own.
Yeah.
Brock Weaver's on it. SD Nunes is on it. Griffin Fisk, who just won the Combat Night Championship, is on it. It's the real deal.
Hey man, yeah, I'd love to check one out.
Well, let's get the professor one. I think you got to go up there and give her your smile. I think it's like one of those in
the office type stuff.
Okay, yeah. She's the real deal. So maybe on December 21st, Island Fight 61. Fight Bananas might be in the building.
Hell yeah.
I might be at the hospital. That's a true story.
There's nothing wrong with that, brother.
Man.
It'll be a blessed day.
Oh. And that's how you wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much. This is Dave Van Auken, the Fight Bananas podcast. That man right there is Jon Radford, the professor.
Hey, it's always great talking to you, brother. And
Absolutely.
We enjoy doing it. Check out all the fight breakdowns and check out the all the history, all the other shows. Like I said, we did 100 episodes, a little bit more now. So keep it rolling, keep it going, and stay going bananas.
Let's go.